And we are live. Welcome back to the Wanna Parlay podcast. I'm Lance Bell. Next to me is Jack Neuheisel. Jack, go ahead and hit the intro of this show. Let's go. Wow. Dowd picks. Are you fucking kidding me? That's unbelievable. Oh my God. It is good to be good. What a legend. We got to get him on the show soon so we can talk about it because that's just incredible. Yeah. Oh, dude, are we having audio? No way. We're having audio issues again, Jack. I just ruined this whole intro. It's yours. It's not your fault. It's not your fault in the slightest. Um, Speak. I'm hurt to my soul. Fucking, I blew it. I blew it. I blew it. There's nothing more or less to it, folks. Yeah, I think you're still quiet. Oh, wait, you're there.
People can hear me?
Yep. My God. Well, fucking KG, thank you for being there and pointing it out. I didn't do a comms check. Did a horrible job. Jack just led us on a fantastic intro. And
this is a bit of a single mother on this program. Okay, we're asking them to juggle a lot of balls in the middle of an hour 3 times a week program. Okay, we have no on-air producer. We're making lemonade here. Okay,
man, I
we're
can't
doing our best.
Man, and KG's just clowning me. He's like, Lance is just laughing to nothing. It was just great to watch. And I'm just sitting here like, I can't believe I just did that. Well, shit. How do you want to go about it? You want to just rip it again real quick, or you want to just keep rolling forward? It's up to you, Jack.
No, I mean, just go bang out. Just everyone is used to the standard rapport we have at the top of the show. The show's brought to you by Wana. You get it. We're big Wana guys. It's the entire foundation for this program. Just got to get through the shout outs again, because we've had people absolutely ripping up Wana the last couple of days. Hence Jesus in the pick 2 winning $90. Corpse 22 in the pick 3, 150. One Mad Raider showing up on 2 pick 3 leaderboards and a pick 5 for $475. BJ Carson in the pick 4 with 200. Tone the Goat, our guy coming on the show later, showed up in the pick 4 twice, 175 and 187 respectively. Sunshine Shop making over 500. Purple Sticky, friend to David Smerling, meaning friend of ours, in the pick 2, making $100. And then the Parlay Royale, Monstar 2100, winning $1,000, fucking around on a Wednesday night. It's good to be good. And then I don't have to go through the whole fucking thing again, but if you don't know who Dialed Picks is yet and you're listening to this program, you need to go over to his account right now. We just made a big deal. He's officially over 45K in money won at this place, which, again, I'll double down on the fact he is on a pace and currently out earning me at the company that is my full-time gainful employment, which that reality sets in and it stinks. As I can, 2 things, I can walk and chew gum. I can both be happy for Cade, our guy Dialed Picks, and I can absolutely curse the sky and be upset. Both things can be true.
All right. That, like I said, that is my bad. Dialed Picks, absolute goat. The guy needs a purple jacket. We need to figure it out. We need him back on the show, so we talked to him about it. Hexhead, BOGO 50, currently running a buy one, get one 50% off. There's going to be more contests in the future. Steal that one from you, Jack. But let's keep moving forward. This podcast, usually, if it's not audio issues, it starts at accountability time, accountability hour. I'm going to lead off this one. It was a parlay, so I went 0 for 1. But on the parlay, I went 6 and 1. And a new strategy I've adopted in my betting life, Jack, is I'm not just placing parlays. I'm placing each individual pick, because that's how confident I usually am that I'm going to get damn close. So I didn't say that on that show, though. Here's KG going to have to start a new weekly contest called Beat the Dialed Picks. That's it's actually not a bad idea, KG. That's pretty awesome.
Jump the Schwab.
All right, I'm going in. Accountability time. So Cavs minus 7.5. That was a lock. They're at the Magic, won by 40. Blew them out. The one I lost was Bucks money line. Even though Jack was so smart to tell me, you know what, just Rockets take the points. He had the slight little warning message for me, and my ego was too big. I walked around like my Johnson, just swang all over the place. But took that Bucks money line, lost 100-97. What a covered. It was tied at 95. Damon ends up missing a 3 to go to OT. Pain, misery, despair. That's what I was feeling. Moving on, though. Lakers money line, that was a win. That was an easy one. Well, a little scary, but always felt like they weren't going to lose that game against the Mavericks. LeBron over 24.5 points. He had 27 and had a monster fourth quarter to even make that possible. Luka over 9.5 rebounds. He had 15. This guy, he almost had it at halftime. Look out for those. LeBron and Luka are the rebounders of this team. That's something to keep in mind in the future going forward. Luka over 1.5 steals and blocks. He had 3 and 2. This is, I like I said, they're playing the Mavericks. Active hands. It's what we're gonna have. And it's what we got. Dorian Finney-Smith over half a steal and block. Yeah, he had 2 steals, 1 block. Like I said, that was another revenge. Active hands. It looked all good. So there it was, 6 and 1, but parlay didn't hit. And that's all that. So Jack, go ahead, lead us in your.
Yeah, before I touch on mine, I just want to celebrate you for a second. A 6 and 1 night's a hell of a deal. I know you fall short on the parlay, but you also go 5 and 0 in that Lakers game, and you're burned on a game that was tied at 95s with a minute left in it. So tough stuff there. But but awesome stuff. And there's a reason this segment of the show is called Accountability Time. It's not Victory Circle. It's because we never claim to be good at this. We have good sports takes and we provide an entertaining show. But yeah, it's accountability time. It's not. We're on the wrong side of blowjob alley here. We're getting it figured out. Anyway, 3-5 for me. I'm getting close to being full fade season here. This is usually the spot in the calendar where the basketball games are a little sleepy and you feel and everything's a little bit mid-season. We're done with football, and I start really swinging for the fences here. I did go 3-0 in the NBA, which is a very rare thing for me, but I went a cool 0-5 in college hoops, which, Jesus Christmas. New Mexico at San Diego State, loss. I did get the big performance out of my guy Dent, but San Diego State got rolling. The Aztecs crowd was huge. They ended up winning by 7 issues. Santa Clara versus Gonzaga. I went and peeked the numbers after this. Everybody and their mother was tailing me on the Santa Clara side, and it was a disaster. Gonzaga rolls them. Iowa at Illinois. Again, the numbers disrespected me here. Illinois was riding in on two or three game losing streak and felt like they were plummeting. Just felt like a ton of points for Iowa, but dead wrong there. Illinois won by 20. Louisville minus 6.5. They win by 5. What are you going to do? Get screwed in the free throw game late. It's the way it goes. And then Minnesota versus Northwestern. Northwestern was up at 13-0 at one point to start that game. So one of those bets, you're just like, put a gun in my mouth. There's not even a way to buy my way out of this. So ultimately, just tough stuff. Tough stuff. Need a big bounce back tonight.
Oh, that is brutal, brutal work. Hey, the Owens, they happen. They happen. I just had one recently. Hey, at least you bounce back with 3-0 in the NBA. Like that's
3-0 NBA just to salvage some pride. To not hang just an unworld, just shit line out there. It was nice to settle in and actually, produce in the NBA, which is a rare thing for me. I stand by my college hoops takes, not my NBA, and it was a struggle. It was bad.
Dude, I mean, I was watching especially the Hornets Warriors, the over, and that hit by half a point. That was incredible. So at least you got that. Jeremy Cantor in the chat. You called that Finney Smith lock. I tailed that for sure. Well, let's go, Jeremy. Fire me up. That's got me locked in. All right. So other topics. That's what we're moving on to. Jack, you populated our topics section with some good headlines. So I'm going to let you read them out and let's talk about it.
So we've gotten into the NFL Combine, so I was taking a little breath here for us to talk some football, and I can actually provide some insight and some thoughts, not just some bastardized fan takes about the Lakers. So out of the gate, Abdul Carter went through the interviews, said he's healthy, ready to go, came out in his physical that he possibly may need surgery on a stretch fracture in his foot. The report as of today was the doctors have encouraged him not to get that surgery, although I believe the timeline is he's going to wait to have said surgery to complete his pro day, and then the surgery won't impact rookie mini camps or OTAs or anything like that. So the point being, it's a lot of nothing, but it is a second weird injury for Abdul Carter since basically the playoff. He was dealing with his shoulder the entire time, sat out the second half of the Boise State game, and then obviously was kind of in and out of the Notre Dame game. So a little bit of an interesting path. And it raises the interesting question, who is going to go number 1 overall in this draft? Lance, the Vegas favorites in order right now is Cam Ward, who's coming in at like minus 150, Abdul Carter, who's like plus 125, and then so on and so forth from Travis Hunter, Shadur Sanders, Jackson Dart, and Mason Graham, the inside D lineman out of Michigan. So ultimately, I still think this is Abdul Carter number 1 if it's the Titans on the clock.
Wait, you think because I was going to ask you, what do you think? What are you going to be betting? You think Abdul Carter's won with the Titans? So
it's a two-pronged thing. I should say part one is if you're the Titans, to me, you cannot draft Cam Ward number 1 overall. You have a litany of problems to take care of. Cam Ward is not going to be the guy to deliver you. And let's say by the end of his rookie contract, you get everything else set up for shop. Do you think Cam Ward can run the gauntlet of quarterbacks that you have to run in the AFC, where you have to go Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes? You're going to have to beat 2 of those guys every single year. And it's just a tough ask. And Daniel Jeremiah and some of these guys have used this term of ceiling chasing, not so much concerned about the floor, but just getting a ceiling that can get up there and compete with those guys. This is why maybe you see the Colts taking Anthony Richardson a couple years ago, just saying if we could somehow put that all together, maybe we can go. I think Cam Ward's actually pretty damn good, and I can see a world where he succeeds. I think that's a horrible, horrible ask and a mistake for the Titans when in a draft that probably doesn't have a lot of Hall of Famers rolling around, you got a guy like Abdul Carter who's a fucking freak of nature. I mean, and I'll say this too. Abdul Carter, the comps he's been getting, Lance, have been kind of Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is going to be a gold jacket guy someday. And I wanted to just tell you a really cool story about Micah Parsons. I had a buddy who worked on the Ohio State staff when Micah Parsons was a senior and coming to camp there at Ohio State. He went to every single line when they were doing one-on-ones and won every single position versus the camp's supposed best guy at that spot. He went to receiver, beat the camp's best corner. He went to corner, beat the camp's best wide receiver. Went to linebacker, fucked up the running backs and tight ends. Took reps at running back and tight end, fucked up all the linebackers. Went to edge, rushed against the best tackles there. Went to interior D-line. He went to every position, cleaned up against the best player there, and then walked off. Ohio State made it their priority guy. They send a camp. Some murmurs come back in his background that they didn't necessarily like him. I don't know if any of that's substantiated, so I won't say exactly what the rumor I heard. But he had some background issues.
Yeah.
And so their only dream was don't let him stay in the Big Ten. So they were trying to funnel him to the SEC as best as possible because if they couldn't have him, no one could. But that's a long way to say Micah Parsons has been this guy for forever. Abdul Carter is damn good, and I think he's better. The other comp he's gotten is that Isaiah Simmons that came out of Clemson early in the first round and kind of ended up being a little busty. He ends up with the Giants kind of refining himself right now. Isaiah Simmons was a safety that everyone was begging to come down into the box, be a hand of the guy, be this versatile everything guy. Abdul Carter is a true edge with freak athletic traits, and the hardest thing to do in this thing is get after the passer. And I will say also, he gets some heat as possibly being a third down specialist. He is an every down player. The stats show up for Penn State. When he's on the field and run support, they were holding opponents to a full over a yard less on average yards per carry. So I think he's a legit fucking guy, and I think he's one of the few can't miss possible all pros in this draft. I think you simplify this up if you're the Titans and you just go take him. Now, I know I'm taking way too long on this topic.
No worries. I'm listening.
But I say that for AFC teams, you can't take Cam Ward. I absolutely think in the NFC, if you do everything else right, there's a path where you could be successful with Cam Ward. And there's a team sitting there at 3 in the Giants with Brian Dable, and I'm forgetting the name of their GM. But those guys, Joe Douglas maybe, those guys are in their very last year. Those guys should have been fired this most recent season, but because of the hard knock situation in the offseason, Mara, the owner, felt like he had set them up for failure. So they're getting another year here. They've been trying to do it with Daniel Jones and then a host of freak show quarterbacks they put together this year. But they've not had that position. And I think the exact antonym, the antithesis of Daniel Jones is Cam Ward. If there was one problem with Daniel Jones, it felt like mentally he was a little hyper and just bad shit would happen because he just was playing a little bit fast. His mind was playing faster than his body. I feel like Cam Ward is the fucking mellow man. And I think Cam Ward's the only quarterback in this draft that can perhaps bail out an average to below average O-line. I think he's got in-pocket mobility that's rare, whereas like a Shedeur Sanders, if you pair him with a bad O-line, if you want to take him as the Giants at 3, God help you. Welcome to 75 sacks and a bunch of problems.
Yeah. Hey, I agree with you wholeheartedly on the Cam Ward O-line. He could take the average to below average O-line, but like you said, if it's like a Shedeur or a Jackson Dart, one of those guys with a bad O-line, I don't see much success coming out of there. An entry into the chat, James Morris, here he is, MJ over LeBron. MJ is the GOAT. Continues with, also, Matt Stafford to the Raiders, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams to the Rams. Rams win it all next year. Watch, you heard it here first on the Wanna Parlay podcast. We heard it in the chat first on the Wanna Parlay podcast. KG Lojos, Aaron Rodgers to the Bears. The
Nah.
Bears. The Bears. I don't. That one. I don't know about that one, KG. I mean, you might be a Chicago Old Faithful dreaming over there. MJ's not the GOAT. I'm taking LeBron. That's
What do you think about
oh,
this?
he's trolling, thank God.
What do you think about this Matthew Stafford take?
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford to the Vikings, Sam Darnold to the Rams. Who says no?
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
If you're the Vikings, you don't want to give a long-term contract to whoever your guy is because you're still hoping JJ McCarthy's your heir.
Yeah.
If you're the Rams, you don't want to pay Matthew Stafford $50 million a year going forward.
No.
So you do this trade, you get the perfect kind of guy in the room for McCarthy to learn under and Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford still gets to play in a dome. It's a division he grew up in. And then on the back end, Sam Darnold returns to LA. You get paired with Sean McVay. What's the problem? And the Rams, now you're paying $40 million to your quarterback instead of $50, and you can probably get him to sign for something like that Daniel Jones deal, where it's a 4 or 5 year deal, not a something super long term with some team outs after 3 years. So maybe this is your perfect. We'll see if we can bridge it. If not, we're going to be drafting a quarterback and it'll be restarted.
Yeah, man, I really don't. I don't know what the Rams are gonna do. It's pretty tough to even guess because you got Coop that's sitting around. He's waiting to get traded or cut or whatever his future is. You got Stafford who wants more money. The guy's made over $300 million in his career, but hey, don't get me wrong. I guess if you want more chips, you want more chips.
And he's got the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. So
I guess, look, if the Raiders want to throw 55 a year at Matthew Stafford, I get it from the Raiders side. For Matthew Stafford, if it's about competing for championships, you're hopping in the division with Mahomes, and emerging Bo Nix, and Justin Herbert, who's with Harbaugh trying to get over the hump. So it's like, I don't know that's the place you go for winning.
Yeah, but it's a big old paycheck living in Las Vegas. It's tough. We got people firing in the chat over this MJ versus LeBron debate. James Morris, if you want to do one of these, if you want to debate this, you are more than welcome to come on this show. I would love to talk face to face with you about who's the GOAT, MJ, LeBron. We can run the stats. We can do the whole debate. But right now we're talking a little football. So let's keep it on the Rams and all that.
Well, let me get another topic change in here for football here.
There you go.
So Colts, everyone's kind of showing their cards a little bit as the Combine has been known as kind of the deal week. It's a hub for all these GMs and coaches to kind of get together and kind of start showing their cards and talk. Because so much of the draft, so much of trade capital is draft stock and what moves you can make there. So the Colts go ahead and announce they're trying to bring in a veteran to create real competition with Anthony Richardson. As we all kind of agree in the consensus on Anthony Richardson is great deep ball thrower. He really struggles with short to intermediate passing and kind of processing, it would seem, breaking down defenses, pre-snap decisions, all that sort of stuff. I'm of the thinking that Anthony Richardson, when you hear great deep ball thrower but struggles to short and intermediate passing, it is a known disease amongst quarterbacks. I call it Brady Quinn disease. You can call it whatever you want. But these guys that get so fucking ripped up in their shoulders and can throw it 85 fucking yards can't hit a swing pass to save their lives. They just can't absolutely do it. What you're looking for are those wiry Jaden Daniel types with the small shoulders who are flexible range of motion that just have a fucking hose. This is the Lamar Jacksons, the Jaden Daniels of the world. These are your stars. So I bring that all up to say, we've said it before on the show, Jalen Milroe needs to be fucking Taysom Hill. He's starting to get a little buzz around the Combine. I think his agent's doing a hell of a job. If you draft this guy thinking you're drafting Jalen Hurts in the 3rd round or earlier, you're an absolute idiot. And frankly, if you're Jalen Milroe, I get, if there's one position that's way better than the other 21, it's quarterback. I get the desire to stay in that seat. At 31, Taysom Hill, which was Taysom Hill's most recent contract, he's now 33. But at 31 years old, he signed for Taysom Hill signed for 4 years, $40 million with $21 million guaranteed. And I think in doing that, he still created an equally likely path for him to end up being a starting quarterback because he got his chances in the post-Drew Brees era. If you go through the highest paid backup quarterbacks in the league, Jacoby Brissett makes $8 million, Andy Dalton makes $6 million, Tyrod Taylor makes $5.5 million. Those are guys that had careers too.
Yeah.
Those are guys that went into seasons as game one starters. Andy Dalton won an AFC North and took the Bengals to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's even a lofty goal to think you're going to be one of these perennial backups earning there. And even those guys don't earn what Taysom Hill does. You run a
No.
4.38, you're 230 pounds, and you can't hit any of the intermediate shit, but you've got a hell of a live arm. We can do shit with you. We can win. I can find a reason to pay you $15 million a year if you're doing all that for me. If not, this guy's going to have a 5-year career.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't see a lot of potential as a true quarterback with Milroe at all. None of the film tells you it. In the chat here, James Morris, he's saying Jalen Milroe will be better than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Milroe is going to be the best QB in this draft.
So Jalen Hurts, let's remember, had the season at Oklahoma where he existed in the air raid and was able to prove he could do it with his arm. In the same offense that Michael Penix exploded in, Jalen Milroe regressed. So I don't see any of that from Jalen Milroe's quarterbacking. As an athlete and as a football player, I absolutely can find a reason and a use for him on my 53-man roster. But as my starting quarterback, there's a mountain he's still got to climb. And I don't think you find that because, again, it's an actual disease that exists amongst quarterbacks. That the big shoulder guys who can throw the shit out of a deep ball but can't throw a goal line fade or a swing pass, there's 1,000 of them. Trevor Knight, who we worked with at the Hot Shots, great Oklahoma and Texas A&M quarterback, ran a 4.5 at the combine. Should have tried to beat Taysom Hill. Went in there as a quarterback, and there you go.
And just got nothing. I remember you talking about the Brady Quinn disease like towards the beginning of the show, like a while back. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Look, I wasn't Brady Quinn. It wasn't like I traded off. I was this close to being a perennial quarterback, but I was a damn good fucking football player. And I had to stop playing quarterback because I had to accept that about myself. On any given day, it's like golf, where you just go out there and the clubs feel a little different trying to show short balls. When you air it out, you just get to go be an athlete again. When you're trying to taper off and feel all that in your body and your hands, you either have that gift or you don't. And if you don't, you have to recognize it and fucking trade up.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, and James Morris still defending Jalen Milroe. He says, they said that about Josh Allen. They said that.
That's actually fair.
They said that also about Doug Flutie. Didn't Doug Flutie not have a great NFL career? They
didn't say it about Doug Flutie also. Doug Flutie was 5'9" and is nimble.
I thought his thing, he couldn't throw the ball.
But Josh Allen's a fair argument. That's a good backstory.
Okay, so he's joking. All right. Well, James, I can't hear your tone of voice. Yeah, the sarcasm through the chat. So maybe parentheses joking if you're making jokes. But yeah, no, the Jalen Milroe, I don't see it. I don't see it as the quarterback at all. At Alabama, he was not impressive. With his talking quarterback, true throwing, of course, his athleticism is out of this world. So I 100% agree with you here, Jack, because you could definitely find ways to use him as an effective football player, but I think he does definitely have to give up on being just a true quarterback. Yeah.
If the ball's going over 25 yards in the air, he's as good as anybody in this. But all the first down throws and 3rd and 6, got to have it. What keeps you on the field as a quarterback? None of it so far.
Yeah, and not only does he have the touch, I've never seen the anticipation that the NFL needs. Like I've seen nothing that tells me Jalen Milroe's going to be a top quarterback. But hey, I don't know. You got that thing about Josh Allen. Yeah, he seems like a good guy. I wish the best for him. I hope he is a good quarterback. KG Little Joe's Jackson Dart is going to be the best QB in this year's draft. Jack, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think Jackson Dart has any real chance?
I think Jackson Dart's ceiling is the kid that got drafted to the Patriots.
Drake May. Well, Drake May has a lot of upside to him. I can
see yourself talking yourself into that. Having said, we don't have an example of a Lane Kiffin quarterback excelling. I don't know if the offense translates. I have not seen the intangible aspects of it, and he seems a little bit Will Levis in his when shit breaks down, I'm going to just go make plays out here. And we're seeing how that's going for Will Levis. So I am not spending a first round pick on him. If you want to get greedy and take him in the second, take your waiver, but no, you're taking a lottery ticket. And third and on, absolutely open season. I'd get him.
Love it. James Morris would love to hear Jack's thoughts on the best player in the draft. T-Mac from Arizona. What are your thoughts on him? I'll come out and say, isn't he slow? Isn't this the worry about him?
I was just gonna say, I just want to see T-Mac run. I just want to see if he's 4.4s or better. Absolutely, I'd spend a top 10 pick on him. If he's 4.5s or higher, I worry about it.
Yeah, that is worrisome because this guy, I mean, he was projected, early, especially during the college football season, right in the top 5. Like they thought he's the first receiver, him and Travis Hunter off the board. So that'll be interesting. We'll have to see how his combine results go. All right, what's next? What do we got?
Skipping our next football topic, just giving a little love to golf here. Jake Knapp shot 59 this morning at the Cognizant Classic in Palm Beach. Those are fucking hard. That was he's the 15th guy of all time on the PGA Tour, or 15th round ever, because there's Jim Furyk did it twice and a host of other guys. But 15th under 60 round of all time on the PGA Tour. And I just wanted to just give a little love to golf here. Wyndham Clark recently caught some heat for some comments he made in response to there's like a kind of a wave of other pro athletes saying if they buckled down, they could be pro golfers. And I just want to say, like, every example of that person ever with respect to golf has been just an utter disaster. Tony Romo's absolutely fucking terrible relative to great golfers. He could not line it up and win a junior event. I think he'd do well, but I think the best juniors, if he tried to win the junior am, I don't think he'd stand a chance. Anybody can make a birdie, Lance. Can you roll under pressure for 72 straight holes? I had another buddy during COVID who was a scratch golfer, and he was never taking it seriously. Started fucking around shooting 65s at his country club and thought he could give it a go. He's got time.
Yeah.
He teed it up in the California Am. And the only reason I was following that leaderboard is because my brother was also playing in it. And he was 13 over after 9 and withdrew after 9 holes. Woo! It's a hard fucking game. Jake Knapp shooting 59 should be amongst the top headlines in sports this year. That's fucking incredible. Good for Jake. Big time stuff. Golf is hard.
And it was on the opening round. It was like 12 under to open a tournament. I mean, that's got to just feel incredible.
That's hot.
That's insane. That's insanity. No, but yeah, these anyone that thinks they can do the golf thing is just lying to themselves, because when the stakes get high for me, and I'm not a great golfer at all, guys, I shoot right in that, like right at the 90s, right below the 90s is a good day for me. Whenever there's a bet on any hole or any shot or anything, it's a 75% chance of crumble. It doesn't, that's what I see. Not just me, it's anyone I've played with. It's just when the pressure is more and more, that game and the concentration you need to have becomes so difficult. That's why when we are watching this Scotty Scheffler, or when we watch Tiger on those, it's something you've never seen before, because it's just a completely different mindset. So yeah, Tony Romo, I call him Tony Homo. He just needs to shut his mouth and keep talking football. Like, keep doing your thing, buddy. All right, let's move on. I got a couple NBA topics to throw at you. Paul George halts his podcast to focus on winning a championship in Philly. Right now, Philly is 20-38, and the team hasn't won a basketball game since the Eagles won the Super Bowl. What are your thoughts on Paul George? What are your thoughts on the Philly situation? What do you do? Tell me, where's your mind on this?
One, the process is dead. Full restart, full rebuilds in Philadelphia. Number two, Paul George seems like a sweetheart. I feel terrible for him. I want to strangle his manager or agent or whoever has bungled his career. But in like the last 3 years, going from where Brandon Miller coming out now with Charlotte called him his GOAT of all time. Yeah. And then that kind of became a popular thing. Mm-hmm. People were talking like Paul George is actually on this high list of like guys. It's like, I miss Paul George with the Pacers, giving LeBron fits with that Heat team. That was the Paul George I could get behind. Then he doesn't go to the Lakers and instead goes to OKC. Then he doesn't go to the Lakers again and instead goes to the Clippers. Now he's in Philly. The guy's made seemingly every bad career decision one could make. Now he's made $300 million in the process of doing it. So who the hell am I? But if it's about championships and about legacy, like, holy hell, has this guy bungled it?
Oh, 100%. And he's part of one of the worst trades of all time in that deal that he gets dealt from the Thunder to the Clippers. I mean, that trade for the Thunder resulted in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, and 3 more first-round picks that obviously haven't been picked because I think it's the 25, the 26, or somewhere.
Yeah, they could get flipped for Cooper Flagg. Who's to know? Yeah,
exactly. So, I mean, it's tough. In Philly, his mindset is... It's just off. And with Embiid, and I'm hearing the surgery he needs, his knee surgery is going to be similar to Lonzo Ball's and what he just went through 2 years out of the game.
And his career might be done.
Need to like break his hip in a certain way so it heals a certain way for the surgery. Retire. It's over. And it's unfortunate, and I'm happy you've made a lot of money. You were a great talent. An all-time, close to an all-time talent. Like, you know, Embiid was great. He had 70 in a game last season. That doesn't come around often.
It wasn't all bad. Remember, that Kawhi Leonard rattling around the rim shot away from playing the Warriors in the finals, where Clay was already hurt. KD ends up doing his Achilles. Like, they may have seen the mountaintop that year with that team.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler was still with the Sixers. That was a decently fun. Ben Simmons wasn't a total reject yet.
And my thing is, and James Morris, you're 100% right. Sixers are done. What do you think Tobias Harris is thinking on the Pistons right now? Because he got shipped off to make room for Paul George. Now his team's Harris, he's 30. They're 31-26, 32-26 right there in the East, and they're looking at this guy. I mean, Paul George has not played well. He's had a few good, like, normal games, but he has not played well this season. It's looking horrible. They have 3 more years left on his contract. I think everyone agrees you blow it up. Unless you try one more year because you're so stuck in these contracts.
You blow it up. Let's get Paul George on some weird team having fun.
Yeah, just get him as like not even the 3rd best player. Like have him like kind of like in a decent role. Pistons on the come up, 100% right, James Morris, and that's another topic coming up.
Yeah, go.
That actually leads us into our next topic. So Cade Cunningham might be an All-Pro this year with the numbers he's putting up like 25, 6, and 9 on right in that 45% field goal, 35% three, right in great numbers. So if he is an All-Pro, that makes him eligible for a Supermax contract, which is north of $300 million. Would you, as we're entering this new era of NBA, who do you pay these $300+ million contracts to, and who do you don't? Because we just saw Luka get traded because they didn't want to pay him all that money. Yeah, they've tried to release the reports and all the conditioning or whatever. They didn't want to pay him that big of money. I think in this situation, if you're Detroit, you have to pay him. But does that limit your team in the future? What do you think?
In my mind, this was collectively bargained for specifically this reason. So small market teams could keep stars. So in my mind, it's a no-brainer. Of course, you're never going to build this through free agency. You're never going to put together a surprise big 3 and shock the headlines.
True.
It's going to be through your draft. You hope you swing and hit on a couple more draft pieces on his next contract. And then it's one free agent you got to go get. You got to go find your Rudy Gobert to pair with Anthony Edwards or whoever it's going to be.
Hey, I like that. And that's fucking beautifully said. Carter Otto in the chat. Jack woke up dangerous. He said you've been spitting all day. He's been hyping you up in the chat. There was
the takes aren't getting any better, Carter. Not since you fucking cursed me.
The picks. But yeah, awesome stuff. Pistons need to pay Azor Thompson way more. Well, those Thompson twins got a little time Don't they have a little time before they're renegotiating out of their
100%.
rookie
Enjoy the
deal?
great contract while you have it. And that's exactly what you do, though. It's another draft pick you hit on. Congratulations. Keep doing it.
So,
This is how OKC's found themselves.
and they got that Ivy kid that's out for the season.
This is how Cleveland, for the most part, is found there. Donovan Mitchell was the only guy they had to go and acquire. Everybody else has been homegrown for the most part. I guess Jared Allen comes from the Nets, but he wasn't a major acquisition when it happened. You can go find your Jared Allens on the open market.
Oh, yeah. I remember Jared Allen. I was a little shocked at the time. It was like a 5-year $100 million. And I was like, geez, this guy's $100 million. I shut my mouth quick. I mean, look at the Cavs. They're right there. Oh,
you hit on Mobley. There you go.
Yeah, and James corrected himself. He said they need to play him more. That makes more sense, and I agree with you. Those Thompson twins are freaks.
The perspective of NBA GMs and scouts, the draft lottery for the NBA literally has become a lottery. It's called that because it's a raffle for how they got their spots, but it is a fucking crapshoot for these guys on how they swing and miss on prospects. I mean, the Wizards have been drafting the lottery for 8 years, and I don't remember, short of Corey Kispert, I can't remember one guy they've drafted. I mean, it's a host of freak shows.
You're 100% right. They just have. How do you miss and miss and miss for this long? But I guess, like you said, it's a lottery. You just don't know. You seem so right at the time, then they play a couple games in the show, and it just doesn't look nearly as well. All right, next question. So I'm going to read you the bottom of the West, and I'm just going to ask, are you surprised? Is it expected? And just your thoughts. So 12th seed in the West, Portland Trailblazers, 26-33. Phoenix Suns, 11th seed, 27-31. Sacramento, 10th seed, 30-28. Dallas, 9th seed, 31-28. Are you surprised that not only is Portland about to surpass Phoenix in this little play-in chase, but that Phoenix is struggling so badly? And what do you think? Are you surprised here in this situation entirely? And also, what are your thoughts? What does Phoenix do?
I'm shocked that where Phoenix was going back to like the bubble in COVID, where it was all upside. They get Monty Williams over everybody else that seemed to want Monty Williams. Then all of a sudden they pieced together a damn good basketball team that was up 2-0 in the NBA Finals. To be here now is absolutely shocking. Now, every move they've made, I would have said, nope, bad call, going to lead to disaster. And now you've put together what feels like the worst owned, I shouldn't say worst, we've got a bunch of bad fucking NBA programs, but as bad a decision-making of GM group, ownership, top to bottom, and you're doing so with stars that aren't Tim Duncan, like Kevin Durant, and I'm a big fan. He's probably gotten more heat for this than he deserves over his year, but he's never been the guy to go own it and stand at the podium. Like he's a tell it like you think it and kind of be upset in the shadows kind of guy. He was the guy that needed out of the Warriors because he didn't enjoy his place within like the team hierarchy and culture. He's the guy that wanted out of OKC because he didn't like sharing the spotlight with Russ and being a part of all that stuff. Is the guy that with the Nets had all of his problems with Harden and Kyrie and there. And since arriving in Phoenix, he's had no problems with the team, but he's certainly had problems with the way they've managed this group. And all the way going down to borderline demanding a trade to shutting down the trade to go back to Golden State. So it was as combustible an operation as you could ever put together, and you're getting what you paid for right now. It's a masterclass on how to just like. Again, I used the example once before. There's a documentary about a 17-year-old kid who's like the son of a Jersey mob boss. That his son, they bought his son a minor league hockey team, and he basically went drunk with power and put a bunch of goons and freak shows. That's what this thing is. You went and spent money like a drunk teenager and was like, Bradley Beal, got to have a third star. Got to have a third star. Doesn't matter what it costs. Ship this guy off. Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, the exact prototype of basketball player the NBA is looking for right now. Let's get rid of both those guys too. I mean, who doesn't want Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges as their fucking starting wings right now?
You're preaching, because it doesn't make sense. Oh, there's Tone the Goat, waiting room. Oh God, hopefully he wasn't in there for too long. Bring him on. There he is. Tone, can you hear us?
What's going on, Tone?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Got you good.
Yeah, no, we can hear you. We were just I'm gonna read the chat real quick while you load in. James Morris, he says, why would you trade for Bradley Beal? Perfect timing, right as you brought it up, Jack. And he furthers that point. He says he averaged 30 on the shittiest franchise in the NBA, the Wizards. There's an argument, Wizards, Hornets, and whoever you want to take. Maybe Pelicans, I don't know. And Carter Otto with the W movie drop from Jack. He loves it. He loves it. Tone, so we're talking about the Western Conference right now in the NBA and talking about the bottom of the play-in. Kind of that. Oh, what we got here?
Oh, I love that. Absolutely.
Oh, wait.
King James bobblehead? Yes, it is.
we can't hear you. We can't. The audio went out.
Okay, hold on. What's it?
Oh,
There we go. We're there. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the LeBron Funko Pop.
There you go. There you go. That's awesome.
It's too good.
So we were talking about the bottom of the West, right around the play-in spot. We got Portland at 26-33, Phoenix at 27-31. They're the first two out. They're 11-12. Yep. Sacramento is 10th, holding on at 30-28, and Dallas is 31-28 as the 9th. So are you surprised about the position that Phoenix is in, about to be overtaken by Portland for that last play-in spot? And what are your thoughts about Phoenix? And I just want to hear where your brain's at.
So I'll start on the good end. I'll start on the high end. I feel like Kevin Durant, he missed that small window for him to make that mad dash and get up out of there in time. I feel like that. I feel like when they were spreading those rumors and, he was hearing that stuff, that was time for him to make his move and get going. With that door being closed, I see Phoenix doing nothing. I feel like they've gotten a Paul George version of Bradley Beal, and it's just not gonna age well. I mean,
I love the Paul George stray right there. We raked Paul George a little bit earlier.
KG Little Jones comes in and says, viewers just dropped because LeBron toys are on the pod now. I mean, they love to hate. They love to hate. I would too. I mean, they're fans of Eastern Conference teams, and LeBron dominated
Midwest
that East
fans.
Yeah, see, they dominated that side of the conference or that side of the NBA for a while. All right. So
those other teams, real quick, Lance. Portland, got to wrap your arms around them. They're the West version of the Pistons. I love that they're playing hard. I love that they're getting some productivity out of their young guys. I saw a dunk from the what's the kid's name from Kentucky?
Shaedon Sharpe.
Shaedon Sharpe last night. It was one of the best in-game dunks I've seen in a long time. I dig it. I want to see them get into the play-in because I think the NBA, like, without putting their thumbs on the scale, needs to have a system that rewards these teams actually playing their ass off right now. So all in on Portland. And then Dallas, with Anthony Davis's injury seemingly not being so serious, and he's going to be back in 2 weeks was the most recent report I heard. I see the Mavs settling in, hanging on to that 6 or 7 and being one of the play-ins and being an interesting out, a good little test for an OKC right out of the bat to see if they're for real.
Yeah, no, 100%. And another thing I just want to mention about the Kevin Durant, the possible trade that there was going to be this year, he came out and said that in his own mind, he thought he was too expensive. He thought if he has to go to a team, they'd have to give up too much, and it would just completely shift the entire culture and how the team's built wherever he went. And that makes sense to why he would want to veto the trade, because if he thought what the Warriors would have had to give up or some of these teams would have to give up, it kind of makes sense. But now he's kind of just sitting there wasting, another year because it doesn't look like it's going to get any better in Phoenix. So, we'll see. We'll see. All right. More conference talk in the West. Now we're going to the top of the conference. Lakers sit 4 games in front of the Clippers as the 6th seed. They're the 5th seed. And 2 games behind the 2nd-seeded Grizzlies. What are our predictions here? What do we think? I mean, we're all Laker fans, as we can see here. Do we see them hopping up near that 2nd, 3rd seed? Do we see them staying the same, kind of in that 5th, 4th seed? Or what do we think? What are our thoughts? Jack, go ahead.
Step one, they've got to finish off this homestand strong. They got Wolves tonight. You got to go win. And I think they get 2 more home games before they get shipped out on the road. That road trip they take is an absolute gauntlet. They got to go play the Celtics. They got to play the Nuggets, I think, again. They got to play the Bucks on the road. They're going to play the Heat, I think. So it's a tough little stretch they have there. But coming down, they're going to get the Nuggets again, who's the team in front of them. They're going to get the Grizzlies again, who's a team in front of them. And they're going to get the Clippers multiple times, both times, obviously, in crypto. So I think it's all right there for the taking. And as it stands now, I think they've cracked a little code on how to utilize their great kind of long wings and play small ball. They've been going Jackson Hayes only like 19 minutes and playing kind of small ball rotations and dominating the NBA's best centers with it. I mean, shut Towns down, shut Jokic down, have been balling against the league's best big. So as the time being, it's going to be a tough road trip they've got to take to kind of stay in the hunt here. But if they survive that, then I only see them getting better from here on in. And 100%, if I were betting today, I would think they would be a 4 or 3 seed going into the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Tone, what are your thoughts? What do you think?
That gauntlet that he's talking about, that is definitely going to be a task at hand. I think it's like 2 days that we don't play in that stretch, 2 or 3 off days, maybe something like that. But I think there's one person that has the true answer to it. And I just love that we have this mastermind over here on our side. I mean, I just feel like within this short period of time, he's really showed, but I think JJ Redick is the one that has the answer. I think where we fall in the standing is a strategic move, and I think Redick will have the answer. I think they'll play specifically for us, but I don't know which one, but I know they're going to pick one that is going to, be to their best odds when it comes playoff time.
I like that.
Tone, I love that take because I'll say this: watching JJ Redick post game against the Nuggets, that little the speech that got leaked out from the in the locker room talking to the team, I see a guy who literally just kind of convinced himself this team's capable of making a finals run. I think until this point, it's been weather the storm, do right by LeBron, get his feet wet as a head coach, and make his way, make sure he's going to survive the post LeBron era. And now all of a sudden, I think you're seeing LeBron I'm getting for 3 years. We've got Luka going here, and I got a team that might go win a finals this season. I'm stoked for this new lifeblood the Lakers seem to have injected into themselves since the Luka trade because it doesn't look like it's slowing down. We're going to get our weird, disappointing games. We're going to get some road game back-to-backs where we get some duds, and we're sitting down starters because the game's already out of reach going into the fourth. But I don't see those duds coming against the Celtics, Bucks, the big spots. I see a couple more of those weird Hornets games happening where we just kind of fall asleep at the wheel. And then we don't talk enough again. You guys do a good job of bringing them back into the conversation, but Austin Reeves on these nights where everyone else seems to kind of get quiet are the nights he seems to pop off for 33. So it's a tough fucking act if we're going to get our guys to go give that defensive effort night in and night out to go beat these Lakers right now. You got to shoot that thing because we're scoring 120 plus no matter what you do.
Jack and Lance, does it scare you that Reeves is building this much equity? And I mean, I love it, but it's like, man, I know other teams are like, they're sniping right now.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But we have him on a great deal, which is actually the steal about Austin Reeves. And if you kind of just go in and what he originally was supposed to get drafted because he went undrafted. He was originally supposed to get drafted in the second round of the Pistons, but he actually deferred and ended up signing with the Lakers as an undrafted a free agent. That's what him and his agent came up with. So I think Austin Reeves kind of likes winning, and maybe he'll be friendly on, taking pay cuts or whatever it is. We'll see down the road. But no, you're 100% right. His stock is going through the roof. I mean, Austin Reeves looks incredible.
Another quick question. Do you guys think Caruso would have reached this height?
No. Caruso doesn't have the ball skills. He's 30 right now, so we already kind of saw what he was at his peak. I love Caruso. Don't get me wrong. He's definitely a way better defender than Austin Reeves. But Austin Reeves' handle with the ball, his decision making, and his shooting ability, he's looking unreal, right? And if he was on a small market team with no other teammates, he might even be able to fight his way into an all-star game. I don't know for sure. That might be a little wild. But, with that type of usage rating, let me read some of the chat. Chat's been going crazy. So James Morris, Mavs, if healthy, are going to the Western Conference Finals. KG Little Joes, if Portland played in the East, they would probably be like 10 games over 500. I like that take, KG, because the East is damn weak. We can go back and look at it. James Morris agrees with KG. And right when we were talking about the seeds, James Morris, Lakers, hell no. Lakers staying in the 4th, 5th seed. And then goes, the road trip that LeBron cried about. Jordan would never. Well, Jordan wouldn't have a platform to speak because social media wasn't a thing and no one really cared. It'd just be in the newspaper and you wouldn't read it. So KG Little Joes, 1 seed Thunder, 2 seed Nuggets, 3 seed Grizzlies, 4 seed Lakers, 5 seed Rockets. That's not a bad one. That's not a bad prediction at all.
That sounds like a good take. I'm down for that as well.
And Carter Otto, Ant spanking LeBron tonight. That's just, I hope you're not putting a lot of money on that one.
Ant's got to get in this little thing called the Jared Vanderbilt Vaults, and that's a hell of a place to be. That's a hell of a place to be.
I'm fading Ant tonight, 28-5 fade.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm so with you. And then you're gonna get Vando's down minutes. Get Gabe Vincent just creating hell, and then you crease him. Okay, great. We've just funneled you into everything we want. I mean, it's a little bit of a fucking deal right now. It's a hard answer to crack Lakers defense because it's bizarre.
They have so many wings and so many bodies they can just throw at you every look. Oh, they close out. They got the wingspans. This is the modern NBA's defense. This is why the Celtics have looked as crazy as they did. I mean, when you have that much on the perimeter, and of course they have Kristaps Porzingis, so they have the whole package. But when you have that much perimeter defense, you can just fly at these people, and it's incredible stuff.
And you brought up a good point, Lance, with as just eyes to betting, as we are a gambling podcast here. The way they have kind of the defensive responsibilities set up, it's LeBron and Luka end up being the only guys that end up being ball watchers and the guys getting balls off the glass. Everyone else is taking responsibilities and chasing and then just sealing out the second we get a ball call and it's going up. So then you just get those two guys crashing, which as far as an open rebound goes, they're 2 of the best I've ever seen do it, not named Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, I love the fact of taking both their overs and rebounds almost every night because until Vegas starts adjusting those lines, because there's no one else to rebound. And so maybe tonight, if I don't think Gobert's playing actually, but if Gobert plays, Jackson Hayes will have decent minutes. But if Gobert doesn't play, they'll go right back to that small ball. And, I have LeBron's over and rebounds tonight. So yeah, we'll talk about our picks later. James Morris, don't sleep on the Warriors. No one's sleeping on the Warriors. They look legit with Jimmy Butler and the spacing that he gets now. I mean, those one-on-one matchups he gets, they're pretty good. But against the Lakers, give me Lakers info. The Lakers want to play Houston first. I agree with that. Lock of the night, take Ants points tonight. Carter Otto also confirms that. I don't hate that. People love to show up against the Lakers, but, I don't care how many points he scores. Lakers getting that dub tonight. You can't argue with the wall on that one. I mean, that's certified. All right. Well, we've hit the mighty fine part of the show where we give out our picks for the night. So I'm going to lead off. I'm going to go ahead. I got the same going player props. I got, I'm doing it in a parlay, but I'm also taking them separate. So everyone, do what you will with these and, it's going to hit. So it's locked. Here we go. Jimmy Butler over 24.5 points and rebounds. They're playing the Magic. I like it. I think he's going to score points. Magic aren't great defensively in any way, especially with the absence of Jalen Suggs. Next, Jokic over 28.5 points. I don't see him getting many assists against the Bucks tonight because they're so long, and it's kind of you got to beat them being bigger. So I think Jokic dominates, and he's the most unguardable player in the NBA. And with Giannis and Brook Lopez still not being able to do anything because of how unguardable he is, I think he scores a lot of points tonight. I like 28.5. Next, LaMelo Ball over 24.5 points. He's playing the Mavericks, who, are still fighting, and I think it'll be a competitive game. And LaMelo, I trust him. He's been a little slow recently. I think you'll get a bounce-back game tonight. I'm banking on it. Over 24.5 points. Austin Reeves, over 18.5 points. I'm going to keep betting this until he proves me wrong, but he gets such good matchups now with the threat of LeBron James and Luka Doncic on both sides. I mean, he gets the third to fourth best defender on the floor every time. And then last but not least, what I've been talking about, I'm taking LeBron James over 7.5 rebounds. Him and Luka are the guys. They're the rebounders. I'm going to keep betting these. I might even throw Luka in there. I mean, that's a thought, but not confirmed. But these guys are going to be rebounding. This is what we want. So there are your picks. Jimmy Butler over 24.5 points and rebounds. Jokic over 28.5 points. LaMelo over 24.5 points. Reeves over 18.5 points. LeBron over 7.5 rebounds. There it is. Jack, what do you got?
Going back to my roots here, I went 0-5 in college basketball in the last show. Cleaned up in the NBA to save space a little bit, but it was a bad effort in college basketball. Going 3 straight college hoops games here tonight. Got Michigan minus 9.5 at home versus Rutgers. Eked out a win versus Nebraska. The defensive effort's been there. I think the offense returns to form tonight. We cover that number easily. Sac State plus 8.5 versus Montana. Do not look at how many wins Sac State has and how terrible they are. Don't look. It's Big Sky basketball, and I'm batting 1,000 on Big Sky basketball this season. Trust me, we're taking the Hornets plus 8.5. And then LMU plus 12.5 at home versus St. Mary's. It's just that time of year for weird college basketball. I think we get a fun one there in Playa del Rey. So I'm all in on LMU. Let's go. Those are my 3. Tone, what do you got?
All right, I'm going to run it down the list. And also what I wanted to throw in is if you're looking or you catch this later, check the last 2 days of the leaderboard. You're going to see Tone the Goat on there. Those are my first 2 days playing now. First 2 days depositing money. I hit for 187 on the first day, 175 on the second day. So we're going for a 3-day run. What you say, Jack?
I gave you the shout out on the top of the show. I was like, and our guy Tone, 2 times in the pick 4. Just clean it up. Yeah.
Okay, so top of the list, I told you I'm fading and fade. I'm sorry. I know we got some Ant lovers on here. I love Ant too, but fade them. Who else are we going to double team? Who are we going to throw the bodies at tonight? It's only one person. That's all I'm going to say. 28.5, fade them. Luka, 26.5, over. Rui, 14.5. Come on, over. Jackson Hayes, I took the 6.5. That is points to be exact. That's not rebounds. That's points. Over. Hayes, PRA, 12.5, over. Lock those in, people. Luka, PRA, 42.5, over. Ant, 3.5 3-pointers, under. Reeves, 2.5 3-pointers, over. Rui, 1.5 3-pointers, over. Zion, 24.5, over. Nick Richards, 7.5 points, over. I'm not done. LeBron, 7.5 rebounds, over. Phoenix, 114.5, over. First half bet. Phoenix, under. That's the full game, 236.5. Lakers, I like the spread, minus 6.5. Orlando, over 211.5. And then LeBron, 0.5 steals, take the over. There you have it.
That was a
chef's kiss. Shit, I'm sitting there. I'm like doing celebrations and shit because you were just rattling them off. I'm watching
I was
Jack.
trying to keep up on the fucking keyboard. I couldn't do it. I'm like, I just got to go back and re-listen to the broadcast. That's it.
Yeah.
I'll make sure you're recorded and accounted for. But holy shit, I want to change my picks. That was some conviction. That was straight fire getting spit right there, Tone. Appreciate that from you.
Okay, KG Lou Joe says, "Hey, is that LeBron James toy flopping?" God damn it, KG. That's a good one. I like it. That's funny. That's
LeBron James toys leading the NBA in every important category of all time. That's what he's doing. Anyway, you guys good? Can I outro this thing? That feels like a show.
Real quick. I got KG Lil Joe's in here saying take Rutgers plus 10.5 and the under 154.5 as Big Ten game second half has played a lot slower in their defense. So Jack, you get the chance, you get the blessing. They are like, you get someone's questioning it. Are you flipping or are you betting on those?
I agree with the take. The Michigan just beat Nebraska in a game where neither team scored 50. So it's a good take here from KG. I just am playing a hunch. I've seen the Michigan boys bail out. They just won through a gritty one. Offense is going to return here. Vladislav Golden is going to get his 20. Danny Wolf's going to hit from the outside. I think they hit they cover this number, which puts that under number in jeopardy. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm riding firm. I should say too, the public is rolling with KG, so maybe they know something I don't. That's usually a group I like to fade, though.
Hey, I like it. And I hope you heard that, KG. He's fading your shit. All right, Jack, go ahead, hit the outro.
Absolutely. This was the Wanna Parlay podcast, home of all things Wanna Parlay, home of the $2 parlay and the world's richest parlay, where every day people are turning $2 into $2,000. Tone, thank you so much for coming back on the show. Hope to see you literally every time we do this. You're fantastic. I'm changing half my picks to what you suggested. It was a great Wanna week, but as always, we will be back on Monday celebrating the biggest Wanna winners from the weekend, including the main prize winner of $2,000. 189 is the current bar set in that competition. It is a difficult but gettable bar and absolutely worth throwing $2 at. You're chasing $2,000. Congrats again to all of our winners from the past 2 days. Fun to celebrate you, including our man Tone the Goat. If you want to go check out a winning account, my man won 175 and 189 respectively on a couple pick four wins. We're going to be back at the same time next Monday, celebrating more Wanna winners, sharing more picks, and talking all things Wanna and sports. Lanny, take us out.
Hey, chat, I appreciate you all for showing up today. This might have been our most concurrent viewed podcast to date. It was great stuff. A lot of participation to the Carter Ottos of the world, to the James Morrises of the world, to the KG Little Joe's Old Faithful, always being here, always showing out. We appreciate you. And I can't forget the guy, Jeremy, who shouted out my pick. I mean, Jeremy, you're just beautiful. You're a beauty. Till next time, we'll see you Monday. Like Jack said, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Be great. We'll see you. Adios.